that because I've got to wait for the computer.
Waste man.
I know. It's terrible. It's still warming up. It's thinking about it. And we are live. Yeah, live and unadulterated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Boys from Bossk. Almost said the wrong thing there completely, as you do, being Curtis, again every week. Well, thank you for coming back. This is another journey on the adventures of three lone men on a journey through entertainment, comics, films, movies, and anything else of value in the world of nerddom. They're relentless, they're unstoppable, they're able to drink beer and eat food at the same time without hesitancy. They are the Boys from Bossk. Gentlemen, good evening. How are you?
Hello. You're getting a little bit better.
Oh, I really want to get sound effects. I think it'll be quite cool if we get a sound desk at some point. It's been a long week. I know the football. I know we're all, I guess, a bit hungover from the football. No, you're not. How about you, Mike?
No, I'm just a bit tired. I had like two people's birthday parties and then the football in a row. So, yeah.
I heard about your weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was on the phone to one of your best friends for 2 hours yesterday.
Well, Dave?
Yeah.
We're all allowed a good weekend.
We're allowed a party.
Yeah.
Just not with Mike because you get hungover for 3 days.
I think I worked Saturday. Sunday was just football. Monday was just recovering from the football, and I watched Black Widow as well. So we'll do a bit of a review and that a bit later on in the show.
No spoilers.
I will try so hard not to do any spoilers. I'm so bad at that, but I will give it my best shot. But before we do that, we'll just go through a little bit of the news. Now, where was I with the news?
No idea, mate.
Oh, God, I hate when I do this to myself. Okay, Dave, I think you mentioned something about The Rock and a new film franchise.
I just heard rumors that he might be doing the new Terminator series if they release it. Arnie is putting forward.
My personal view on the Terminator is it's such a dead franchise.
Maybe Arnie just thought he had no personality and he just went in to do it.
Yeah.
I just think if it was going to be a hit, it would have been a hit already. Yeah, it's been.
Well, it's got like nearly 10 films. I think that's a bit of a hit.
I think since Terminator Judgment Day? I don't know how well Terminator 3 done, but they keep trying to milk it, and I just don't see how it's going to happen.
You'd have to do it completely. You'd have to like nothing like the previous two films in a way, not in the future. I don't know. You'd have to set it like it might be quite cool if they did like a reboot, and like 80s is in, isn't it? Do a bit of a Stranger Things vibe with it, you know. And then and then you can have them, you know. Maybe you can have Sarah Connor get killed straight away, and then it's like a whole redo.
Or a Sarah Connor that can act.
Yeah.
But, like, if you like, the last one was terrible, right? Because all I remember is they kill the kid that she'd fought through 2 movies to save, essentially, right?
5 movies
off screen. No, because she apparently dies. Originally, she dies after the second one off screen, or something. Or is it? Yeah. She dies off screen apparently from cancer. But then time gets changed again because Kyle Connor gets killed in the first few minutes of Terminator, whatever the last one was called, off screen. And I was just like, really? Is that how we're doing it now? It doesn't work because if you think about Terminator, like if you look at all the top sci-fi films at the moment, they're quite not highbrow, but there's a bit of depth to them. Yeah, like Matrix was about reality and who we are and what we can be. Well, What else is there? Star Wars. No, that's not very highbrow. I don't know what else is face like nope. You're going down the wrong path there, CJ.
Yeah, wrong timeline you're going down there, mate.
Avatar. Avatar's about nature and our connection to it.
Yeah, but Terminator's about the dangers of technology, isn't it? Basically,
it is,
which is happening.
It just comes across as a daftness of technology. I like literally humanity deserved to die if they couldn't tell a Terminator was a Terminator because they all look the same.
What are you talking about?
Different.
That's racist.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. They all look different.
They didn't. How many Arnie Terminators were there?
That's because it's the same model. No. That's because
he was a T-1000 though, wasn't he? He was the first.
So they all kept on sending him back because John Connor had a connection to him, and so that's why he was able to get close. But if you see in the first film, it's someone who looks completely nothing like Arnie, who kills everyone.
That's fair enough. But in Terminator Salvation, they all literally were Arnie's
because they were the first ones. He was like the cop. Well, I'm saying there was loads of different art.
He was the Jango Fett of them all.
Yeah, he was like the first building block kind of thing.
Okay.
It was like the Clone Wars.
All right.
The clones look the same. They all look like.
I mean, mate, if they did all look like Arnie, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's one. That'd be easy. Then Skynet will be like, what do we do now?
And Skynet's the daftest computer.
Arnie with a moustache, Arnie with glasses, sombrero hat, top hat, and monocle. Oh no, I'm not this Terminator you think of.
I am not the Terminator. I am just a bystander. Yeah. No, and Skynet has to be the dumbest computer in history. Really, it's not a very clever computer.
It was in the 80s.
Yeah, maybe. Like Commodore 64.
Come on, look at how everything was done in the 80s. that thing was so advanced.
I don't know. I single-handedly was not impressed with it. I was just like, I don't know. Another franchise I think that needs to die, but doesn't seem to. Jackass. Have you guys watched any of the last few Jackass films? Are you fans?
Oh man, the thing is though, like Jackass was like not much like pre-internet, but like definitely before all these idiots started doing pranks and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
It used to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then what was the last film? Was it Jackass 3?
3.5 or whatever it was.
Yeah. I remember it being, because the thing is though, before it used to be really interesting because you're like, oh wow, they do some mad stuff, but now you're like every 2 minutes there's some idiot doing something like that on Instagram or on YouTube or TikTok or something, you know. So
yeah, back in the day, that was stupidity. You have to laugh at them.
Yeah,
they're just dumbasses.
Or Viva la Bam. I used to love Viva la Bam.
Well, they've got Jackass Forever is coming. The trailer is coming out, I think, the next couple of weeks, and that's going to be the next Jackass film. I've never been a particularly big fan of it. I think I went to cinema to watch the first Jackass movie.
Well, it's not a cinema thing. It's sit indoors in your house and get stoned with your mates.
Yeah. And I did watch the Grandpa film that they did. Was it Dirty Grandpa?
Oh, that was
hilarious.
That was with the balls. I was just like, why is this so funny?
Or when he had his grandson be a pageant queen, and then he came out and like a stripper, and he was like throwing all the money. That was mental. Only Jackass would think of that though. It's just I'd like us to do more of that though. Like the hidden camera stuff is funnier, I think, in a way.
Yeah, I think that's the path I would have expected to go down because the prank thing, everybody's doing it. It just looks like it hurts, and as much as you can laugh at somebody hurting themselves, it's a bit much after a while. But that's just me. I'm getting old. So I think I've branched off from there. But good luck to them. If they live through this one, good on them. I think they've only lost one member of their team.
Ryan
who's I think
Bam's not allowed to be
banned from the set. Yeah, I think.
What, is Bam banned?
Yeah, he's banned from it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got a restraining order against, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
He's gone off the rails again.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. In other news, they just released a new trailer for What If. Now, What If was one of my favorite comic books when I was young, and it looks fantastic. I certainly can't wait to see it. Have you guys seen the trailer for it at all?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
it's sort of it's hard to pinpoint what they're doing in a way because it's not like the traditional what if stories where it was usually like a major event. So let's take like Civil War. What would happen if Tony Stark died instead of Captain America? You know, so it turns a major event, twists it like that. So with this, it seems like it's people's origins they're messing with rather than the event. So it looks like obviously Captain Carter, so Peggy Carter becomes Captain Britain in aspects, and then you got Iron Man-esque thing for him, and then it looks like Gamora becomes Thanos in it as well. I think I even spotted Spider-Man becoming Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's just rather than an event changing, it's like it looks like everyone's origins is slightly different.
Around.
Yeah, which is different to, I would have thought it might be, Tony not coming back through the portal. I would have thought it'd be like, Ultron winning.
Yeah.
What the sort of that's the what ifs or what if they lost, what if they did this. But now it seems a bit more like, what if this character's origin was different,
Yeah.
Which is cool because I don't know what to expect now, which is fun.
No, it should be cool. The only clip I've seen bits of the trailer, and I think I saw a clip where Tony Stark is, when his convoy in the first Iron Man gets attacked, and Killmonger rescues him instead. So that's a nice little twist. And it sounds like they thought it out.
But doesn't the Black Panther become Iron Man anyway?
What?
It doesn't T'Challa become Iron Man in What If?
I don't. No, he becomes Star-Lord. He becomes Star-Lord.
Oh, right, Star-Lord.
Yeah.
It would be cool if he did become Iron Man. And it is the last appearance of the old...
Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. It's his last performance for Marvel, I believe. I think his last actual performance was on Netflix, which has already been released. This What If's just been delayed so long.
Yeah.
That it's been going on the way it has. Now, where are we? I didn't start my clock. Now, gentlemen, I get Bad Batch, right? They put another episode out this week.
You mean a prequel for Rebels? Had very little.
Well, at least we know Chopper's origins now.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of it? I enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with it. It was quite, the Bad Batch weren't in it much, but I think it's because again they're building up to something, and it might be her first meeting with Caleb, which
you
might
reckon?
really happen. Yeah, because there's no reason to have her in it unless they do.
But why has she got a French accent? That's what I didn't get.
I think it's just a species.
And then in Rebels, she has a completely different accent.
Hanging out with Caleb. A bit of a Caleb D.
It could be.
I sort of thought, it was a weird accent. It was a bit Creole, wasn't it?
It was very New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one to go with, but I suppose not everyone's going to be British or American, are they?
No, but you think of her voice in Rebels to the voice here. It's like
I couldn't. That's what I was actually there. I was going to watch an episode just so I could see what happens, because I was like, But I suppose you spent 10 years off planet, maybe.
Yeah.
But I reckon that commander, the one who was with the Twi'leks, the one who let her off.
Go.
Yeah, he's going to be something. I've got a feeling he's going to lead a resistance or something. Because he doesn't really comply with orders, does he?
No. Really.
Yeah. So I've got a feeling he's going to be something.
It's going to be interesting. They didn't do much with Crosshair.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do something like give him a mad armor or something.
No, he didn't get.
Just get back in your Death Trooper suit. That'll keep you going, mate.
He's still just a cranky trooper.
I really think I think it's going to be that his chip's not working. His chip's not working anyway, and that's just him. I reckon they're going to try and fix him, and they're like, "Oh, there's nothing to fix."
It's already been removed,
or something, some twist like that, mate. That's what I think that would be fun. And then what's going to happen with Omega?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. Like, she seems like a bit of a plot hole in a weird way, Like,
I don't know what to do with her.
Yeah, and I think Boba's going to come out at some point. You can't name drop Boba like that, and then
Boba's going to try and kill her.
Well, they're all going to be young, aren't they? So
because there's so many bad.
This is like, do you remember the Muppet Babies?
Yeah,
like that, isn't it?
It's
like the Star Wars babies.
Everyone's like 12 years old at the moment.
It's like recess to Star Wars years, like Star Wars years recess. Mikey's, they're all just recess and they're all going to get in trouble. Get put in time out by Darth Vader.
Well, he's got to be in his late teens now, hasn't he? So he's got to be the jock.
Who?
Darth Vader.
No, Vader's Vader now. So he's going to be like what? Mid-20s, no, late 20s. Yeah, KFC.
Very crispy, yeah. KFC stage.
Yeah. I enjoyed it though. I think it was good.
Really good.
The problem is though, Filoni's always trying to do these things, isn't he? Like shoehorn an origin in or something sometimes. That's what I felt a bit. I was like, because it's obvious that this is going to lead up to something now, isn't it? So it must be the Bad Batch going to rescue Hera or something, or them being a trap for, which isn't not the Resistance, but something.
Or them, it could be they could be the catalyst for why the clones actually do end up being disposed of, because effectively at some point the clones cease to be used at all in the Empire, and at the moment they're still being used, and they might end up being that catalyst that gets that all changed, so they get disposed because they start releasing clones or whatever, or convincing clones to remove the chip.
Who were the 4 clones in Rebel?
They were all the
Rex, Captain Rex.
Captain Rex.
Wolf.
I can't think who the other 3 were.
Wolf,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Wolf was one of them, and then
it was not the Bad Batch, though, was it?
That's a good question. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to check that out.
Because when they were chasing the worm, there was like 4 of them, wasn't there?
Rex, as well as clone commanders Wolf and Gregor. So there's only 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them on that little walker thing. So I don't even know which one's Wolf. Do you remember Wolf?
He's the one with the family on, isn't he?
Oh, with the family?
Yeah. I think if you remember like episode 2 or 3 when they tried to get away on the spaceship.
Rex, Wolf, and Gregor. Yeah,
so Wolf is... Oh, go away. Yes, I want your cookies. All right, calm down. Right. The 4 were rescued by Jedi, Anakin, Ahsoka. Blah blah blah, load of bollocks.
They were the first to have their chips removed, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. All of us just looking at the Wikipedia. Anyway,
script.
So yeah, that's an interesting point, isn't it? So if the Bad Batch aren't any, so they must either die in this, or they're part of the
bigger horizon.
Yeah, they're part of something. Yeah. I don't know what happens to them.
There's a couple more episodes, and we'll find out, I suppose.
Well, we've got we're 6 episodes in now.
Yeah,
and there's a total of
we're like
16 for this season. So we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure.
It's nearly finished, isn't it? It's nearly finished now.
No, there's 16 episodes long. I think
we're like 12 or 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to get stressed.
Yeah.
What we're going to do for the next till October's when we're getting a book of Bubba?
But you could watch Monsters at Work.
No, I haven't watched any of that since. I watched MODOK.
I actually got caught by my mum watching that the other day.
Yeah.
Came down in the living room Sunday morning. Goes, "Why are you watching kids' TV?" And I said, "So funny."
No, I haven't watched any of Monsters anyway. Is it any good? I mean, I haven't watched it. I was all right with Monsters University and stuff, but it was never.
So Mike and Sully are now the CEOs of Monsters Inc.
Oh, okay. Is it a TV show or just a movie?
It's a TV show.
All right.
And is it a very kid show or is it adults?
It's very Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
So it has the Pixar genius in it.
Mm.
But it's all about an up and coming guy because now they make him laugh instead of making him scream. So
Okay.
I've watched one episode and it was okay. 20 minutes long.
20 minutes. Shit, okay.
25
Well, I might
minutes,
give it a
something
shot.
like
I haven't watched any of that yet. I'm sure it's pretty good. But I'll give it a shot. Big Sky's finished. So
Yeah,
that's
I
not
didn't
coming
realise that.
back. That's really disappointing. The one show I've been watching a lot of, again, I think I mentioned it last week, Rebel. Actually a very good show.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's quite a fun show. Unlike 911 Lone Star.
Is that the one with
Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe. And it's a really weird show in that basically it's a fire stations. So 911's a fire station in LA, and 911's a fire station in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And they're very different. They're the same shows in the sense that everybody's a bit damaged. So in LA, the captain over there has got a tragic story with his family and kids, and he's trying to get over it. And in Lone Star, that captain there's got like cancer and he's trying to deal with that, and he's got a gay son and who's also an addict, and he's got that bit of drama. But they both seem obsessed with interracial relationships because my God, they've both got characters that are in interracial relationships. A black woman, white guy, and I'm like, that's really cool that they're starting to throw these out there. But I was like, the shows they're twins, they're like CSI, LA or whatever, and they've both got the same situation. I'm like, oh, okay. How are you going to
everyone knows CSI Miami was the best.
That one
because Horatio was the man.
Like, there's a guy that Marvel needs to hire and get him
Horatio.
into something.
Yeah, they need to hire Horatio.
He needs to. Do you remember Horatio? He was literally on fire at one point. Like he was.
That man could
meant
solve
to be
anything.
The next Tom Cruise, and he disappeared. But no, they need to do that. Sorry, where was I? So yeah, 911. It's soap. It's daytime soap TV, but it's worth a watch. Not as good as Rebel though. Not in the same league. Rebel's just up there, and 911 sort of down there. But it's got Rob Lowe, which is every housewife's favorite, as far as I know.
What, 10 years ago, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was young blood.
When the West Wing was on.
He's still got it. He's still reasonably handsome.
I just remember him in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
He was so funny.
He'll still be. I think you'll find it funny.
I just remember him from 80s movies.
He was in a lot of those. It's got a great cast, some great stories, but I think it's one of the better shows on Disney Plus. And it's new. I don't think it's quite that old. I think it's quite new TV. So
I've ended up watching a load of Law and Order, and I keep putting. Yeah, that's why I love the dun dun. I watch it for the dun dun and for the end for it just to say executive producer Dick Wolf. Yeah. But I watched one the other day and Julia Roberts was in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like at the peak of Julia Roberts' fame. And I was like, and I ended up watching it because I was like, why is Julia Roberts in this? And I was like, well, she's obviously the murderer. Yeah. It's like, why else would Julia Roberts be in this? Like,
is that a Disney Plus?
Oh no, just look, 5 USA. 5 USA.
Channel 5 have all that sort of stuff.
I end up just watching them because I get.
It's probably on right now on Channel 5.
Yeah, it's always on.
Well, it's nice to be able to do that with shows. There's very few shows you can do that with, and especially with streaming services now.
Yeah,
there's so few shows you want to just sit down and binge watch. Because I think the last great shows to binge watch were the ones that people do binge watch the most, are the ones that were terrestrial, like on normal TV.
Yeah,
and then the streaming services shows that originated on streaming services, hardly ever want to binge watch them.
I find it hard to get in. Like with the Marvel stuff, obviously the Star Wars stuff, it's great because it's week in, week out, so you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of TV shows at the moment that I'm just like, oh, like the only one I keep up with is Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
All the rest of the Arrowverse
shows.
shows.
To watch that.
Yeah, I think the new episode came out a couple of days ago, so I'm keen for that.
I think I'm like 4 episodes back on that.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's got good. But like, I used to like The Flash, but I felt like whenever I watched it, it was the same episode.
Yeah.
It was like, there's a big bad, you got to do it. I'm sad about something. You know,
Let's go back in time.
It was just like the same, and like Supergirl, just it was too sort of crap CGI when I watched it, and I couldn't get into that as well. I think the Arrowverse is a bit dead, to be honest. I don't really see it surviving much longer. No. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because Legends of Tomorrow is a bit cheesy.
They'll put the money in there. I think it's like
it's the storylines. It's not about the money. It's the storylines.
Yeah, storylines. It's just the same thing. It's all Monster of the Week kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think they'll put the money in it to get better writers and stuff. Because
but when you've got the same kind of episodes day after, do you think that's on every day in the States? Or it's on every day here. So you got the Flash, the Arrow. It's all the same stories, and then they all meet up, and it's another big story. And it's like,
I agree. That's why I don't watch it. But I'm just saying that they will. I think the Arrowverse at the moment is kind of like the Walking Dead universe. You know, the ratings are dropping, but they're still bringing in more viewing figures than a lot of other shows. So they'll just switch it up. They'll get rid of all the separate shows and create a Justice League, and then you'll just have a team up show every week. Because I think Heroes Legends of Tomorrow, that's still doing quite well.
Is that doing well? Because I've not watched that in. I watched the first season because obviously it was when the Arrowverse was like new.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I'm surprised it's still going. Like,
I couldn't believe they even made a show of that. It was all like the dead wood into one lumpy.
Yeah. It was like all the characters were like, oh, what are we doing with these guys?
Well, it was a superhero Doctor Who, wasn't it?
But I do want to watch the one with Constantine in it because I love Constantine. So
I saw. Did you watch the TV series for that?
Yeah, it was trying to do Supernatural, but Supernatural did it better.
Yeah,
you know? That's the problem. Yeah,
like a lot darker, a lot more.
Yeah. He was good though. He was a good Constantine.
Yeah,
that's the shame of it. You really felt like he was Constantine in a way.
No, it's a shame they couldn't do more of it. I think it'll go more the way of shows like Stargirl. You'll just have sort of big team up series. You'll have much more like adult themes coming through, or even Teen Titans. Titans
is good.
Third season.
I really like Titans.
Yeah.
Good team up, a lot of adult themes, lots of adult like violence,
and they've done Dick Grayson right. Yeah, like he's perfect. Like how he's been written, how he's struggling with like his identity and stuff, and you know how they changed how he got his name Nightwing.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter, but like the whole story was like, it felt right. You know,
I hope my big hope for this is that it gives the writers at DC a lot more to work with because. For some reason, like the television representation of DC characters seems to be a lot better sometimes than.
Well, because they're a lot darker, isn't it? In Titans, when you look at the Arrowverse and everything, it's all very Saturday matinee TV for the kids.
Knight Rider.
Yeah. But they were like
that's what it is. It is like Knight Rider and Airwolf, isn't it? And then Titans. For the adults at night.
Yeah, that's Miami Vice. Yeah.
I hope they do sort it out because, like, I hardly read any DC comics anymore. I'm not too excited about anything that's coming out. I don't go out of my way to watch anything DC anymore, and that breaks my heart because some of my favorite
the comics are a lot better than Marvel at the moment.
Really? Okay,
I think so. Cool. I think their event stuff is just a bit more like you want to read it and you want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, like Marvel's so hit and miss sometimes. Right. They've got the new series. I've forgotten. It's like Dark Ages, which looks quite good.
Yeah.
And it's basically like if they lost, like a big climactic thing.
Yeah.
And so they're all like you know,
the 90s.
So it's like they're all a bit steampunky. It looks fun actually, and like a lot of people are dead, you know.
Again, I'm more than happy to give it a shot again. I think, like, because I don't have the space for too many comics, I tend not to collect too many, and I'm big into trades at the moment. So I've been reading up on the Invincible, The Boys, older comic books like that. And I think, like, if Marvel does that, I might go for it. My favorite run of comics was Legion of Superheroes in the 90s when it was really dark.
Yeah.
And that is something that would be interesting to see. But we'll wait and see. You know, I just think that at the moment, Arrowverse needs to up their game. The very reason you stopped watching it, I stopped watching it after the second season because it was another big super fast villain that you had to learn to run faster to beat. And I'm like, how is that a story to fill a season with? And I've always said it about the Flash. The Flash is a great supporting character, but I think he stays as a leading comic book character. It's just too much. Even Flashpoint, it's his story, but he's not the main character. And I think, was it you said last week? He's a great supporting character. But I think when you make a character that can run and move faster than anybody else, how do you beat him?
I think they always used to do, like, you know how they did the Dennis O'Neill run with Green Arrow and Green Lantern on the road sort of thing. I feel like that's what Flash needs. He needs to be with someone, like, you know, like Flash and someone.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not Green Arrow, but someone who, like, I don't know.
Superman. They can both run as fast as each other.
Like, someone who's a bit of a step up, maybe. Like, I don't know, Cyborg? I don't know.
Or really revolutionize how they're handling these characters. I think Marvel, the clever things Marvel done for a time was, like, the Avengers became part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. Like, they played around with the concept a bit. And it blew a lot of energy into the Marvel comics, especially around the early 2000s. But now I'm just like, you know, the movies have, in a way, helped a lot in the sense that they have to change characters in the movies. Like, Chris Evans couldn't be Captain America forever. So instead of replacing him, he said, we'll make somebody else Captain America.
Yeah.
What's the name? Couldn't be Black Widow forever. So they literally went, you know, we're going to replace that character with someone new. They've made Vision. They could replace Vision really easily. Or I'm just going to change the way my face is. I don't want to be looking at the face of a dead man. Yeah, they can do that. And I think that's something that, you know, comic books have always been hesitant to do permanently. But it may be something we'll have to just re-energize it. It worked with Miles Morales. Jerry, Miles Morales came out of nowhere. And it wasn't the first time they made a superhero character black. But it made sense to do what they did with Miles Morales.
Yeah, definitely.
And he just, the energy behind that character is, you know, how they're going to keep Peter Parker in the role for much longer, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're doing a series soon, I think sort of next month, where I think he's going to go in a coma and Ben Reilly's going to come and take over as Spider-Man. Yeah. But I think that's a bit... So I've got a soft spot for the Scarlet Spider because I remember that as I was growing up. But I think that's almost like a bit of a kick in the teeth to Miles Morales.
Yeah,
I think they could have had him maybe like fill in the role.
Yeah.
Or something. Or maybe this is what they're leading up to. Maybe Ben Reilly dies and then, I don't know.
It's Spider-Man's moment.
Yeah.
They need to do something because, like I said, I think they need to... What a lot of people don't realize is the reason why a lot of characters aren't black in comic books, or there weren't as many black superheroes, is because they weren't allowed to do it.
Stan Lee had to fight for Luke Cage and the Falcon, didn't they?
And when they were done, half the time they were just a version of a stereotype. So I think, you know, when people say that characters are getting race swapped, no, they're just readjusting for what they weren't allowed to do in the past.
Yeah.
And it can work. Like I said, Miles Morales has only been around, 10 years?
Yeah, but I think that's also not swapping. It's a new character. It's like, it's like, you know, I want to see like a new character come in. I don't want to just see a rehash of an old one. You know.
Oh yeah, but then like I said, Falcon.
That works. But that's not rehash. It's not. He's not Steve Rogers.
No.
You know what I mean?
But with Miles Morales, you've already got the Spider-Verse, and then there's a Spider-Verse 2 coming out, isn't there? So
yeah.
They're using that character in that. So
I'd like to see him do more stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a writer, and I am a Marvel zombie to a degree. So anything they put in front of me back in the day, I would generally read. I've never felt that way about DC comics apart from Batman, Superman, which I used to collect religiously. And the only comic book character I used to like a lot outside of that was the Demon. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the devil inside me. But I think they really need to do a lot more with the characters they've got, because at the moment they don't seem to have any faith in other characters other than Batman and Superman.
Yeah, I mean, and even the last DC tie-in event was all different versions of Batman, or evil versions of Batman. Yeah. I mean, like, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was cool as hell. But it's sort of like, cool, you've done that. Where are you going to go from this? Like, do you know what I mean? Sort of, I want them to do cool events. It's like when they did the Desist one, where they killed all the heroes. It's like, I wish they left it as in everyone's dead and that's the end. But then they did a new one where, oh no, we found a cure now.
Yeah, I've read most of that.
Yeah, and I was like, no, let it be a sad ending. It's not the proper universe, you know what I mean? You know, it's like Injustice is fun because Superman just kills the Joker, you know?
If I was ever going to write any DC character, it would be Wonder Woman. And I would literally make her the power. And I'd do Wonder Woman versus Superman. And have her just beat Superman. I don't know why. I just think Wonder Woman's such an... I don't know whether it's because of her name.
Didn't she have a sister?
She's such an undervalued character. Yeah, she's got a black sister, Nubia. But I'd make Wonder Woman the DC badass, and I'd make her able to beat down on Superman.
Well, she would, because she could use magic.
I know, but I hated Injustice Among Us. Do you remember the computer game they did? So Superman turns bad.
Yeah, Injustice.
Yeah, Injustice, and she sides with Superman. I'm like, well, the Wonder Woman I know would beat down on Superman. I go, what are you doing?
Well, no, because she's a warrior, so she's committed to kill. That's the whole point of Wonder Woman.
No, but she's she also believes in justice and truth. She's not like, there's no way she's not only side with Superman, but let him murder people relentlessly. She was a warrior, but she believed in honor.
Oh no, but 100% she would. She would definitely side with Superman. She always does in the comics. In Red Sun, she sides with Superman. Yeah, lots of times, like she kills Cheetah, I think, in a comic, and she's like, "Well, it had to be done."
Aquaman, and I get you, but
in Flashpoint, she kills whole nations.
I'd create her as a better character as an opposing force to Superman. I think the fact that she would do that just makes her that bit of a less interesting character to me. But that's just me, man. I'm a whingy bastard, which I will not apologize for. And that's probably why I don't write for DC. Now, moving on, Loki. The latest episode, the most recent episode of Loki came out, and it blew me away. The music, the look, the style. What about you guys? Well, Dave, how did you take your Loki?
I can't remember it.
Okay, moving on.
What happened?
They were trapped.
She came through the portal, didn't she?
Yeah, they were trapped in limbo.
Okay. I've been watching a lot of Mayans this week. Yeah, it was good. That was one with the alligator and stuff, and they kicked it. Yeah. All right, I remember it. Yeah, it was really
good. Mike, how did you take it? How did you take your Loki?
And little paw.
I thought it was like an Easter egg dream.
Yeah.
Just looking out for all the little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
We got Frog 4.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. That was the fun. Do you know that was voiced by Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, I found out afterwards. But
mental. It was so much fun. The Thanos helicopter.
Yes,
I was laughing at that.
That was so funny. You had Yellow Jacket's helmet, like a big version of it. All the different Lokis were fun. Richard E. Grant absolutely killed it. Like, really killed it. Like, he was so great in that.
He stole the episode.
Stole the show, mate.
I think the pants stole the episode.
Yeah. I thought it was great. Just a proper classic, like comic book.
Richard Grant, I'll wear the big nappy.
I think he tweeted out that he was channeling Kermit because of the old star on it piece. What else did you like? What else did you like about it?
I think it's. I mean, even though we've seen big cloud monsters before, this one looked cool. Like it looked like a dog. It looked like an attack dragon dog thing. Yeah, and not like that Galactus cloud or that Sinestro monstrosity. The Parallax being, it was just that was cool. And now I'm just like my head's just swimming with what is going on in that castle.
Yeah,
because there's a part of me that's just like, oh, imagine if it's Doctor Doom. Just because of the castle gave me like Latveria vibes,
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh god, there could be anyone in there. There could be like loads of different variants of one person.
I think my two guesses are it's a version of Kang, an earlier version of Kang, or it's
loads of Morbiuses.
It's going to be another Loki. It's going to be Ultimate Loki. Because I reckon that's the whole thing. Loki, this will be the final test for Loki's redemption. And I'm gonna guess that it's Loki having to face himself down one last time. Because this Loki's gonna offer him everything.
It's the last one, isn't it? Next one.
Yeah, and I think it would make sense it's Loki that Loki's found this place and he knows Loki's are a threat, which is why, because that monster dog, I think it's Guardian as well. It was in Thor or one of the other comic books. But again, this show's managed to surprise me every step of
I reckon
the way.
Idris Elba is going to be there with his sword ready to open the portal.
But it'll be interesting. Is he going to be Loki, or it'll be somebody connected to Loki is behind all this? So it'll be really interesting in that sense. But I would say, look, it's been such a wild ride. Just the music they've had, the little Easter eggs throughout the entire thing have been pretty impressive. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a really obscure character called Molecule Man, because he ties into the Secret Wars, Beyond, all that type of stuff in the comic books. So I wouldn't even be surprised if it was him. But we'll see. I think it's been a fantastic journey. I remember rumor was that people were going to dislike the Elsie character when she came along. And it'll be interesting to see if she appears in any mainstream MCU films after this.
She's good. I think she's great.
Yeah.
I really enjoy her.
It'll be interesting to see if any of these characters appear in mainstream MCU films or projects anymore after this. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it. So the last episode's 2 days away. unless they have another trick up their sleeve. But Richard E. Grant was my favourite bit. He's my he just chewed up every scene he was in.
Yeah.
And that moment where he sacrifices himself, it's just so good. It's just a great moment to watch. And it looks so good. The special effects in this have been absolutely blinding, considering it is TV. And I know they've got the Disney money, but it is TV. And they've done a superb job on the special effects.
Yeah.
And I want to see Paul Frog, I think he's called, the Frog.
Yeah.
I need to see him out of that jar. That filled me with nightmares that he could be in that jar forever.
That's so depressing, isn't it?
He needs to get out of that jar. And Owen Wilson's back, which again, I don't know what's going to happen next episode, but yeah, it's like I hope he gets his water ski at some point.
Well, he was definitely like a jet ski instructor or something. It's got to be something like that, isn't it?
And he hasn't said "whoa" not once. Even when he was dying, he didn't say "whoa."
Yeah.
And I quite like to see him drop one of those in there. And I hope we see a lot more of him in the Marvel Universe as well. Right, so I think that was all very positive from all of us there. Now, I saw another little thing, which I've warned myself that when we talk about it, I can't do any spoilers, all right? So if you hear me drifting into a spoiler, boys, you have to stop me.
Or take your headphones off. Like
But here we go with my mini review, my non-spoilerish review of the Black Widow, Marvel's latest Marvel movie, which has already scooped a lot of money for its first weekend. And
you went to the premiere, right?
I went to the Disney premiere, which cost me a fair bit of dosh, but I was like, it was worth it. This film is, again, I think another one of those slow build-up ones that it reminds me a lot of the first Captain America. It's a slow build-up to something else. And they're introducing so much in this movie that, you blink, you might sort of miss it. I can't remember how long it was. I think it was about 2 hours and a bit.
Yeah.
It is an enjoyable film. It's got a fantastic cast. It's nice to see Rachel Welch back in action, because I don't think I've seen her in a film since
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
James Bond.
Yeah.
So it's really, really nice to have her back on screen for starters. The performances from everybody concerned are quite good. Ray Winston's in it, but all too briefly. But I think he's just a bridge.
Is he English?
He's not meant to be. Is all I'm going to say.
He's not Irish again, is he?
Do you know? Right. I love Ray Winston, right? But do you know when you can tell somebody's basically been hired to do a day's work?
Yeah.
And they haven't really had time to put enough in? That's what Ray Winston's like. He reminds me of, what's his name? Who's Doctor Strange? Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Cumberbatch when he shouts in Doctor Who. That's all I'm going to say. Not in Doctor Who, in Doctor Strange. So he keeps the American accent going, like Ray Winston keeps his Russian accent going until he shouts.
So he's Russian Cockney.
Yeah, that would be a perfect example of what he is.
Just like the Irish Cockney in The Departed.
Yeah. It's got Thunderbolt Ross in it as well. And there's one or two surprise appearances in there. It's got the guy from Strange Things, who was also...
He's the dad, though, isn't he?
You'd have to watch it. I can't let it go.
Oh, sorry, is that a spoiler? That
would be a spoiler. And he plays... you've seen it in the trailer. He plays the Red Guardian. And I wondered how Marvel were going to handle this, because obviously the Cold War was a long time ago, and the Marvel Universe, in terms of where it started, I think the Cold War's now, 25 years ago since the Soviet Union.
So this is based in the 80s.
35 years ago. No, but a lot of the origins are from the 80s. So it's quite interesting in that aspect, but I think it's like Captain America. It's an origin story, and it's the end of a story. It's very enjoyable. It's got some really good performances. The action scenes for me were great. Some people might not like them because it's not Endgame, and I think that any film that comes after Marvel film that comes after Endgame is probably going to struggle a bit. But I enjoyed the action scenes quite a lot, especially when you see all these other the Black Widow's teams come into play. I think it reminded me a lot of the Bourne films.
Okay, that's cool.
Which I think this takes a lot from it in terms of, like, if Bourne actually was successful, what would it look like? Its ultimate version. But I think it struggles a bit in the fact that this isn't... It deals with a lot of serious subjects, but not in a very serious way. And I think that may stick out a bit with this film and make people not like it. And I think the Taskmaster, who you've seen in the trailers already,
don't want to give away a spoiler now, do you?
No, it's not about giving away a spoiler. Again, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't think Taskmaster, comic book wise, has never been a particularly great villain or great character. So it's not a spoiler, I swear.
It's fine.
It's fine, that's fine. Taskmaster Taskmaster in the comic books has never been a great character, and I think that this film, if anything, doesn't harm that. It makes it better. I enjoyed the character. I could have just done with more of it. And I think they're setting this up to be, maybe it's going to be a TV show, but it looks like they're setting up to be a film, and it's going to be like a Bourne Identity franchise in the Marvel Universe.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think that may work. But this film is just a bit fast and loose. There's not very strong emotional beats. And I also think that at the end of the day, I think they made a really big mistake killing Black Widow in Endgame. Because as much as they needed a character to sacrifice themselves, Hawkeye. Who gives a fuck about Hawkeye?
Yeah, he wanted to do that though, didn't he? I read.
Yeah.
Originally, he wanted to do that in like the second Avengers film.
Yeah.
Because he knew his character wasn't getting any dialogue and stuff like that.
Because this is the first time that what's her name's actually got to show how her stuff in the Marvel universe on her own, like in her own film, and I think she does a superb job. Scarlett Johansson, she's good in nearly every scene she's in, and I think it could have done with her having a few more films before they got rid of her. Whereas Hawkeye,
6.
Hawkeye was a bow and arrow guy.
He's got a TV show coming though, isn't he? So
yep, his TV show's coming out very soon. I believe it's coming out in October,
which should be good because it's based off the Matt Fraction run, which was awesome.
And I think, that'd be right. But is it worth £20?
If you've got a family, it should be.
If you got a family, it's definitely worth the £20. If you don't mind waiting, the spoiler's going to come thick and fast. So if you don't mind hearing about the film in between now, when it's getting general release,
October the 6th, I think it is.
Yeah, if you don't mind knowing everything about the film by the time it comes out, then wait. But YouTube's going to be milking this dry because there's so many little bitty bits in it. I would suggest either, if you can, get out to the cinema or just pay the £20.
Or just use your account and watch it again.
Use what?
Oh, sorry, what?
But I enjoyed it. It could have been better. It could have had more in it. I love the action scene. I know it was a lot of CGI, but if you're used to Fast and Furious, this is nothing. It could have been filmed a bit better, but as what they ended up with, it was pretty good. But this is a stepping stone to something else. So you could give it a miss, but I'd say it's worth the £20.
Will you miss anything of the Avengers story, of anything like that, Marvel background?
It depends on what you consider missing. You will miss stuff. If you don't go watch it, there's stuff that you would sit there and go, oh! Or
that's how that happened.
Yeah. Or you'll spot somebody who pops up in it. Like, and you'll see what's building in terms of the next stage of the Marvel Universe. And you'll see those stepping stones. Can you bypass it for now? Of course you can. You can do that with any movie. If you're a Marvel fan, watch it. You'll like it. You'll enjoy it. I did. And
what order would it be? Like film 10, film 11, film 27?
What do you mean?
Well, you have to watch them in.
Oh well,
order.
It's number. What is it now? Post Endgame 2, isn't it? You had Spider-Man, this, isn't it?
Yeah, but when's it based on the timeline?
Before
the Avengers?
Think it's based before. No, I think it's just before Endgame by the looks of it. Yeah, I think it's pre-Endgame.
So it's after the snap.
No, sorry, that's me being stupid. It's pre-Infinity War. So she's on the run at the start of the film.
So it's just after Captain America.
From Thunderbolt
Civil
Ross.
War.
Yeah.
So it's just after Civil War, yeah.
Yeah. So Thunderbolt Ross, she's been hunted because she smacked T'Challa, or she was accused of smacking T'Challa.
Everyone deserves a slap now and again.
So she's on. She's been hunted, but it's pre-Infinity War.
Okay. you need to watch it then. Because she was very depressed.
Boys, you put a lot of
Infinity War, weren't you?
You put a lot of pressure. You put a lot of pressure on me here.
When she was in the building by herself, going, "Oh, I'm so depressed. It's been 5 years."
Well, I'd say by the end of this, she's got nothing. It's a hopeful Black Widow we have at that point. So I don't understand. So no, I reckon her sacrifice at the end cleared the book. But I think they need to bring her back, clone her or something. Because I think she's too good an actress and too good a character, and she hasn't had enough.
That's okay. They could just make her younger, like they did to Will Smith and Gemini Man.
Yeah, but she doesn't need to be younger. She literally, in this film, she's badass. And some people were saying her power levels were wrong, but I don't see how that's the case. There are some pacing issues with the film, but only in the sense that, like they could have filmed that a little bit better. Not that it's complete shit. Like, there's no point I'm sitting looking at the film going, this is absolute bollocks. But yeah, I'd say go and see it in the cinema if you can. But £20. How much is £20 worth to you?
Well, you're going to spend 20 quid in the cinema, aren't you? So
yeah. But it's a big screen film.
Oh, is it? It is big screen film.
Those action scenes are very much, I think, they're not amazingly long, but I think on a widescreen, it looked a bit better. It's kind of like Mission Impossible. You know, like some of the scenes in Mission Impossible, they just look better on a big widescreen. And I'd say that if you can go and watch it on a big screen, do.
Or get closer to the telly.
Yeah. Well, I've got a massive screen, so I'm like... I'm not saying how I got hold of that. But yeah, I've got a huge screen, so it's slightly different for me in that sense. Now, chaps, that was my review of Black Widow. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it 3 popcorns out of 5. That would be 3 buckets of popcorn out of 5.
Buckets? Really?
Yeah. It's average, but it's slightly above average in terms of Marvel films. And it's still better than Fast and Furious. But that's...
But you haven't watched the new one yet. You haven't spent the 20 quid.
No, it's gonna be... Dude, it's got a Tarzan car and they go to space. I need to know.
Richard Branson just went to space. Come on.
Yeah, Richard Branson wasn't what they were. They used to be car thieves and truck pirates.
And so was he probably.
Like, I'm over fast. The fast and the few. It's all about family. Yeah, whatever.
I thought you wasn't even going to mention it this way. I thought it's going to be a nice, quiet episode.
I can't help it. Right, that's it. That's it from me. Anything from you boys?
Nah.
Still recovering.
It's coming home, isn't it?
It's coming. It's gone to Rome. It's gone to Rome. Football's gone to Rome. But God, I don't want to get any evil emails for that one. I hope you enjoyed this show. This is another episode, and again we went over time. How beautiful! This is another gorgeous episode of the Boys from Bossk, and that's a good night from me.
A good night from him.
Oh, good night.